Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 219, January 27th, 2021. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Michael Aston.
Hello, everybody.
Matthew Ross.
Hey, all.
And Jimmy Trammell.
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going. How you guys doing?
Not bad.
Good.
Yeah, nothing.
I got to say, this is probably the most muted response I've seen at the beginning of a show in
I think
many
I'm tired.
episodes.
I think I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
You feel like a muffler?
Oh, maybe a little bit. I don't know.
You're exhausted.
So,
I don't have the energy today. I'm sorry.
hey Matt, I have a question for you.
Yeah,
I noticed you got a haircut.
I did.
Did you go to somebody to get it cut?
I did.
Did you wear a mask or not wear a mask?
I did wear a mask.
while
Everybody wore
getting-
masks.
Even when they were cutting your hair?
Yeah.
You didn't go to the haircutting robot from Stuff Made Here?
No, I did not do that. I'm afraid of that robot. I think I've seen pictures of it. It does not
Well,
look
he's
like
made
fun.
a second, like an upgraded version of it.
Apparently, the second one was better because the first one looked like it was very painful. That picture I saw, I was like, oh. No, the lady who did my hair, she just simply said during the part where she needed to go around my ear, can I hold the mask on my face while she did it? I did that for her, and she's like, no problem. Yeah.
I too got my hair cut today, and I too wore a mask. And she just like pulled the strings out of the way and did it. But then when she did the hair wash, she took my mask off but covered my face with a hot towel. So
Well, that was more for her convenience, so she didn't have to look at you.
this
See,
is probably
you got to
true.
remember, barbers, they typically work in the back of your head. They don't have to look at your face. I've always said that the whole hot towel thing was a conspiracy. They make
Conspiracy
it seem-
is fine with me because it feels pretty nice.
it make you think that it's all about you and your enjoyment, your comfort. Actually, no, it's just so they don't have to look at you.
Yeah.
There's probably some truth to both of that, so you never know.
I accept.
No, the hot towel goes back to the old days when that's
When
what
people
they
were
used to
even
do.
uglier,
No, they used to,
they didn't have
used to-
the good
because when you-
skincare regiments and soaps.
no, when you go to the barber, right, it would not only be just a haircut, but it would be a shave as well. So the hot towel was to warm up, the beard, and also it'd be easier to shave you.
And open
That's
up
what
your pores.
that's the tradition of it, right?
Open the pores so you get a closer shave and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, when you didn't have running hot water.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
can remember as a kid when that used to be the thing always when you'd go to the barber.
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that we do have, and that is stories to talk about.
We do? Oh,
I know.
man. All right, let's start with HBO. HBO Max. They've done a really good job this quarter.
About-
Apparently, they've went ahead and released Wonder Woman 1984 to high expectations and low actual, reviews, but have come up with a gigantic new number of subscribers to their service. They weren't expecting to get this kind of numbers for about 2 years, but they now have 17.2 million subscribers in the fourth quarter.
Okay. While that
No,
number,
that was 17.2 new subscribers.
No, I understand.
Excuse me.
And I mean, there are people that are accrediting that to Wonder Woman, but the thing that they're completely dismissing is the fact that right at that same time is when HBO Max finally went live on Roku and Amazon.
It's a good point.
So
there was a lot of people there pent up waiting for
yeah,
it. I'm
exactly.
sure.
That's where they got, and because I don't think while there are some people that signed up specifically to watch Wonder Woman, those two platforms are what opened the floodgate.
Well,
the proverbial floodgate.
To speak to the other side, Wonder Woman can get some credit at least for pushing them to get onto those platforms as well.
Absolutely. So. And they wanted people to watch it because they didn't want it to be a flop. So they had to, and that was, remember, that was my conspiracy theory back around Thanksgiving when they announced Wonder Woman was coming. I said, there is no way they're going to let they're going to launch Wonder Woman and not be on those platforms. They need as many views as they want. And sure enough, that was, I guess it wasn't a conspiracy. That was just my prediction. Clyde Stradamus strikes again.
He's only right like in certain times of the year.
I'm right twice a day.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all. I mean, it was pretty obvious this was going to happen. Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman movie was great, and so people were definitely going to join in to see it. The question is, how many of those leave? We probably will never hear that. They won't come out and say, oh, 30% of those people just up and walked away after Wonder Woman. But I found a few other things to watch on it, but honestly, I've hardly watched anything except Wonder Woman on it.
So one thing that's interesting to note is the article points out of the 37.7 million HBO Max eligible subscribers, 30 million of them came from wholesalers and 6.8 million were through retail channels. Wait.
What's a wholesale subscriber?
That would be where you get it as a package from something else.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of people getting it from their.
Well, I mean, like, I think I would be a wholesaler because I'm an AT&T customer.
Gotcha.
Same as me. Yeah. My internet service provider is AT&T, so I get it for free.
Yeah. So since I subscribe to a specific tier on my mobile plan, I get that as part of the bundle.
Okay.
So then 6.8 million is interesting because that would be retail channels. And I believe that's referring to stuff like if you subscribe to HBO through, let's say Roku, the Roku channel, or, I'm not sure exactly. It's changed so much. I don't know exactly where it's available to do that right now, but I know there's at least a couple. But yeah,
you can do it on Apple. So I think all of them have it.
So if you break that down, so you got 37.7 million from wholesaler, most likely AT&T customers. 6.8 million of the remaining 7.7 is from retail channels. That means there's like less than 1% that's just subscribing to to HBO Max directly.
I don't know. Doesn't seem like a lot. Oh, it is probably a lot.
Hey, they got the numbers. But yeah, no, good for them. Way to stick it to all those people that said that HBO Max was a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think that anybody ever said it was a bad idea. I just think there's a lot of confusion, and that was the problem with it. Now they're trying to clean.
Well, there was lots of people saying, "Why are they even doing this?
Right.
This is stupid. We already have an HBO."
That's true.
You're ruining the brand recognition. You're watering it down. To almost directly paraphrase somebody else in the community. But yeah.
Oh, well. All right.
A lot of marketing changes there, but who knows what was going on behind the curtain there, right?
Your next story is about Plex. Plex is, of course, that server-based. You can run your own server and have access to your own media, right?
Plex is the robot on Yo Gabba Gabba,
Oh, is it?
right?
I didn't know that was his name, but yeah, he's a kind of cool robot, gotta say. No, Plex is having their services allowing you to access your media on a server, and has been providing you with abilities for you to stream that to various platforms inside your house, and including outside your house if you have a Plex Pass. They have announced another expansion of their product. It's called Plex Arcade. You would think, cool. Maybe it's got some cool games on for it to play, right? Yeah, sure. If you think they're pretty cool games from the Atari era of video games, maybe you could say so. I don't know if you have the complete list here, but it is a lot of Atari games that are going to be available on this platform. It does have it, but there are some caveats to all this that I feel that are really important and need to be noted. Plex Pass is going to cost you $5 a month for an emulator. Plex Pass will not work if you're using a NAS. You have to use a Mac or a PC as your Plex server. That's because Plex Pass is actually not doing the emulation on the device. It's streaming it from your PC using Parsec, an unavailable open source platform to do this.
Which is how Plex works in general.
Well, yes, but
it's just for the smaller files you're able to do the encoding on your device.
Yeah. Well, I understand. I'm just saying that I don't know if this is a good deal. I think for $5 a month, getting the access to pretty much some of the oldest console games ever made that you have to pay for a monthly service in order to have access to, or you can add other things to it. It has a list of about 12 different programs that the Lib Retro project is able to be using for. So some Nintendo systems, some Sega systems as well that you can go ahead and throw in there to have access to. But just go run Parsec yourself and play it without paying $5 a month. Everybody, this doesn't make sense
I was
at all.
gonna say that Venn diagram of people who want this and people who would use this. That small section in the middle,
and people who will pay for it.
Well, that I was going to take that out because I was to say just with those two, that Venn diagram, those people in the middle, they already have these entire libraries and emulators on their PC.
Yeah.
So
okay, so let me show my ignorance of gaming. But okay, so if you're really a gamer, would you pay $5 a month for these games?
Well, this isn't for gamers. If you're really a gamer, you're buying the newest console or playing high-end PC. This is for people that like nostalgia. I have a Raspberry Pi with almost all of these already on it that I can just plug into any HDMI.
Yeah, I get that this is for nostalgia, but if you'd have to be a gamer to want to nostalgically play these old games.
I would say I would change that and say you would have to be a Luddite. So if you're someone that can't be bothered to figure out how to install an emulator, find these, track down the images on the internet and install the emulator, then maybe. Maybe I'd say it's probably the same people that are buying those retro consoles that were all the rage like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like there's two groups of people that would likely want to play these games. The problem is those two groups of people are either the ones that have built their own Raspberry Pi gaming system or bought one of those old emulators that look like the originals or whatever so that they can feel like they're playing the old system. It seems like a pretty small, like you indicated, cross-section of people that wouldn't go that extra step that would still want to play these games. Because you're right, it's a nostalgia and it's a gamer scenario, right? You pretty much have to have been a gamer as a kid and want to go back to those days and revisit some of your favorite games, most of these games, the games that come free are games that even from a nostalgia perspective, I'm not going to play more than 5 minutes. Like Pitfall, it was pretty freaking cool when it was the only game you'd ever played. But you go back now, and it seems pretty lame pretty quick.
It was Pitfall was really cool when Jack Black was the spokesman.
Yeah, when you're talking about things like Dragon Warrior and the original Zelda and stuff, those are games that people actually enjoy going back to and revisiting because they're actually good enough that there's something still there. Pitfall, there wasn't a story, or what was it, the Tanks game where you're shooting at each other on the Atari. Those kinds of games, they don't have stories, so they live only on the gameplay ability and the graphics, which are obviously incredibly awful compared to today. So,
it just kills me, this picture they got on the article there. Those two that they're showing in that picture are never going to subscribe to this, right? Not those two people, right?
So Plex could have made this work really well for me by simply going, "Hey, we have this feature that we now have an emulator built into it, and you can stream it inside your home for free, or if you have Plex Pass, you can stream it outside your home, just like you always could. We currently support these platforms. You want to spend $5 a month? We'll give you access to this whole series of Atari games as long as you pay $5 a month for it, and just have the same deal essentially, but." Let me put my own an emulator on it and emulate my own games out of my own library, just like I play my own movies out of my own library. It would be great.
Plex said, "Hey, if Apple's not going to do it, we're going to bring gaming to iOS and Mac."
Yeah.
And these are unfortunately the only games that they can handle.
Well, actually, I give it a couple weeks, and Apple will take it down for breaking terms of service. So because they can't do that. That's against their rules. That's all I gotta say. It's kind of true so you can't have Stadia on it because that's obviously you have to have every single game individual and reviewed every time, guys. This is not right. You can't do that.
Okay, well let's break out every single MAME arcade. Game and review it. I'm pretty sure that all of them are reviewed someplace.
Yeah.
But Plex is in the App Store.
Yes, it is. But I bet you it might be. They might have issues
now that there's
now it's an emulator.
Yeah.
Because that's the same thing that's happening with Stadia, and Stadia can't have an app. They can't. They have to do it through the browser. I don't know.
And they don't. And they're trying to block that too.
Yes, they are. They are effectively doing that, except for not through the browser. Oh well. Hey, so here's an interesting story. A story about a new Android TV device. I don't know much about this. The AM Logic S905X4 is a brand new set-top box dongle. It's available, coming out soon. It's using the Cortex A35 processor. It's able to use the AV1 codec, so it's got hardware and video decoding for the newer AV1 codec. It looks like it's going to be using Android version 10 out of the box. So yet another device coming our way. I don't even think I've heard of these guys.
This is more of a signal. The fact that they're using this chipset combination is a signal that more will be coming from the industry, which is why I included this. I mean, yeah, the story itself is very in the weeds, only for the people that really care about, the hardware specifics. But this has been the year of Android TV. And we're seeing some great movement forward, and I mean it's featuring the new that AV1 codec, which is a big deal. So
yes, it is.
I'm excited.
You like watching for these little things come up, and you always put them in as a rundown, and I love it. But I can't wait till it's a brand name I recognize. Sorry.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, you got to figure the company that they're basically going up against is I can't think of their name now. It's mentioned in the story someplace. Is the company that is essentially making the TiVo stream, the Google Chromecast with Google TV. I mean, that's not made by Google. There's another company that these guys are competing with. So essentially, these guys want to be the manufacturer that all those big names are coming to say, hey, customize this for us. And you'll notice that the dongle design is very similar. So, yeah.
I mean, the technology is pretty impressive, but I don't know, man. I just can't seem to warm up to that dongle style, device like that. Just something that dangles out of the.
It's something that dingles your dongle.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I don't like it. My 3 reasons are: number 1, no Ethernet without having to do some trickery on the USB port and then losing the USB port. The fact that small size even further limits the amount of storage.
Yep.
I mean,
Antenna
these things are
size.
listed at like 8 gigs or 16 gig optional, but the problem is most of that is eaten up. Remember when we had 8 and 16 gig phones and you would get it and there was only like 2 gigs available?
Yeah, but I mean, to cache a movie, you don't.
No. But you got to remember, every app that you install goes into that. It's the storage. It's not. I'm not talking RAM. I'm talking the actual storage.
I don't think the apps take up that.
Yes, they do.
Sometimes they do.
Because
if you install games, yeah, they do.
And that was one thing that I've battled with Android TV in the past was because yes, games. When I'd install Asphalt 8, it played awesome on my Android TV, but it took up like the entire storage.
Okay. But if you're looking to play games, would you buy one of these to play?
Well, that's one of the beauties of Android TV is it plays games spectacularly. That's why they bundled a gamepad with it with the developer module.
But I think with this device, they're not going after the gaming market though.
No, this is Android TV, and yes, and this is higher powered than my old Android TV that I used to game on.
You know, there's some people out there who buy these things because they can put emulators
and
on.
You can hook up any Bluetooth controller to it.
So you're thinking they're going after the gaming market with 8 gigs?
Well, you got to remember, we're not talking like Xbox games. We're talking Android games.
Yeah,
because Android TV is the same as Android OS on your phone. So basically, any of the games you can play on here, you can.
And how much storage do you have on that phone?
This I've got 128.
A lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
See,
that one only has 8.
That's been my complaint I mean, there have been times where I've had enough apps installed that I've run into problems. But like I said, that's my main complaint. And then my third complaint, it was the form factor isn't good for heat dissipation.
I would say for the video, 8 gigs is probably, or for the storage, 8 gigs is probably a bit on the small side, but 16 gigs is pretty good. That's the optional size. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty good for this type of device. My Fire TV Cube has 12 gigs, and it usually sits with the apps that I have installed on it somewhere in the vicinity of about 4.5 to 5 gigs full. That is without any games though. Mm-hmm. That's just the apps that we use to run different streaming and video watching services and stuff. We don't have any games on it. So I could see that being problematic with games, but it does have more than most of these types of devices.
Oh, and I will point out that the game I was referencing, Asphalt, is one of the games I play regularly on my PC. It's the same game. And then, I mean, they put out a whole bunch of like Final Fantasy relaunches of old games and stuff. And yeah, while you're talking like NES and Super NES didn't take up much on that cartridge, that still eats up your storage pretty quickly.
That's true.
But
all right, so Sling TV has given us the news. Seems like all the different streaming companies have come up with, they are raising prices. If you are purchasing Sling TV, either you're getting the orange package or the blue package, the price is going up $5 a month to $35 a month. That's right, only $35 a month.
Yeah, see, I was gonna say, of all the price hikes we've seen, this is the one that's palatable, and it being that it's only $5 and it's for new subscribers. This isn't for existing subscribers.
Oh, there's going to be holding on to the old prices, at least for the time being. That's good.
That's what it seems like.
They're also if you pick up both packages, you usually got it for a deal instead of $45 a month, which you would get for both of them. Now you're going to get for $50. If you do sign up now, they're going to be giving you a couple of months, $10 off your first month to help get you in the door. They're also going to be changing the rules for the DVR. Instead of having only 10 hours of DVR storage, it now includes 50, with an option to upgrade up to 200 hours, which is actually a reasonable amount of time, Sling. That makes more sense now. This is kind of the soup du jour for us. What's the kind of the which who's going to raise their prices next? And Sling's been holding on to that lowest cost for a long time.
I got to give them credit because they were one of the first in this market. They were one of the or I guess you could say they were the first to really pioneer the over-the-top service. They outlasted PlayStation. They've managed to keep their prices reasonable. And I did find it in the story. It looks like existing subscribers will have the current price locked until this summer. But that's because, if you remember, last July, Sling implemented their 1-year price guarantee.
Yeah, we should have known then.
Oh, well, we did. We called it out that they're going to be raising prices. So basically, if you're already, whenever you're clear until whenever your 1 year runs out.
Something just occurred to me. This is Sling TV is Dish's expansion into the streaming world, and the expansion by DirecTV was DirecTV Now. Dish just won, if you think about it. DirecTV just got swallowed up by AT&T and then discontinued finally. Sling has won, and that was a fierce battle that was going on for, I don't know, 15, 20 years before we even got to streaming. My goodness.
And
I was always a Dish guy.
Was Dish the first one that we tried when we first started doing the show? Was it Dish?
The Sling?
Sling. That's what I meant. Was Sling the first one we did?
It was one of the first ones.
Yeah. Because it might be time to go back and revisit it, like almost 5 years later. We're coming up on that.
I think it's impressive how well they've managed to keep prices down. They have a slightly smaller channel lineup than the others, but it still has almost all the channels that the vast majority of people are going to care about. I think it's still a pretty impressive package, and it's not like they're lagging behind on software quality or usability or anything. Sling has really done a good job. I think that, in my opinion, they're the ones to beat because I think the others are too expensive to go with.
And the other thing about this story that I guess we could go out on this, made me wonder. So the group president is Michael Schwimmer. is he's got to be related to David Schwimmer, right?
Yeah. I was like, no, come on,
I mean,
David.
there can't be that many Schwimmers out there spelled SCHWIMMER. Now I might be wrong. There may be like someone will pull up a thing that's nope. At least 20% of the world's population are Schwimmers.
He's not part of the New England Schwimmers. He's part of the Northern California Schwimmers.
Yeah, but no.
It's a nice German name.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to move on with Philo. Philo, of course, is that streaming service that's been providing with a decent number of the kind of the back channel TV channels for you to watch. They've got a new addition to their service now. It's going to be AccuWeather. That's right. You're going to get the Weather Channel version of AccuWeather available on your Philo service. This is going to include a national broadcast of weather as well as some local stuff. I'm curious how that's going to work out on the channel.
Well,
but yeah.
I don't know if you've ever used it, but pretty much every Android phone I've ever used came with AccuWeather pre-installed. And I've always just used it because it's been great. And I have, from time to time, I have clicked into the app and watched their weather coverage videos and stuff. And they've been adequate. They've been good enough that I've never thought, maybe I should go to that weather channel. What's it called? I didn't even want to look it up.
The Weather Channel.
I think they've officially changed their name to weather.com, which I was like, no, guys, don't do that. Please. No. You're the Weather Channel. Stay that way.
Yes. But no, that's cool. See, and if you're not familiar with Philo, just remember, if all you want is sports, Fubo, but now they didn't have sports and they had to expand and raise their prices. Philo went the other way. If you want TV, but you don't care about sports at all, Philo is what you might want to check out because they've got lots of TV. For the longest time, they were the only ones that had Viacom.
I think there's still $20 for the larger package, and that's what we're
they don't have everything, but they don't have sports, and sports is typically what raises the prices. So
you go on, you go, where's that channel that's got that cool show that we used to watch? Oh, it's on Philo. What about that home improvement show? That's on Philo. I mean, okay, the Philo's got all that stuff, and that's great.
Yeah,
if you want sports, couldn't you just add ESPN Plus? And then you got what you need.
Yeah, right. But that was the point. Was Philo and Fubo went polar opposite to see who was going to win, and apparently Philo made the better choice because Fubo ran into a year with no sports, which
Fubo's
means a
been
year
doing
with
really
no
well.
Content.
Oddly enough, Fubo's been doing really well.
I mean, but they were forced to expand away from their all we care about is sports, and which is why now they're no longer a cheaper alternative. They're becoming just as expensive as the others. So, yeah, Philo was the one service that when we tried it, I actually kind of liked.
Yep, still use it.
Yep,
still like it. Watch it at least a couple times a week.
Yeah, it was the one that I had decided if I decided I needed live TV, I'd go Philo. Yeah. It doesn't help, and it's not because Philo was the owner of Clyde the orangutan in any which way but loose in any which way you can. Otherwise known as Clint Eastwood.
Okay, I guess. Hey, so YouTube, we've been talking about the fact that some of the new gaming consoles are having, some of their features not quite there yet. Looks like Xbox One users and they have finally been able to use the HDR functionality on YouTube videos. They've been updated to have access to the VP9-2 codec, which means that Xbox One S can be playing stuff at 60 frames per second in HDR on 1440p, and your Xbox One X series is able to do the same thing at 4K. So you guys who want to watch your YouTube on your Xboxes, you now have a little bit better quality of options available to you.
See, when I think of YouTube, the word HDR never once crosses my mind.
You mean hardly?
I'm just gonna sit here and let you.
I'm just
waiting.
What am I going to do with D? I don't know. What am I going to do with the word D there? What word should I put in there?
He hardly don't remember.
You hardly don't remember.
I don't know. Yeah. No.
Heavily degauzed. I don't know. It's just. I don't know. It just seems. You're right. The
Hot
YouTube's
digital resin.
or residue.
Oh.
All right. No, it's good for them to have that. I'm happy for them to have that. It seems like a function that these heavy, expensive boxes should be able to do. I'm surprised it took them this long, quite frankly. NBC is taking their sports channel, the NBC SN, and they are shutting it down. They are working to consolidate their different packages into a couple of smaller number of channels, because back in the day when you had a channel for everything, the 800 channels and nothing to watch, well, maybe finally it's time to start taking some of those niche channels and bring them down into your basic stuff. It looks like they're taking a lot of the various content from that channel and pushing them into other channels that they own, including NASCAR going to USA, and I know that there's some stuff that's going to be moving to the Peacock app. So
NASCAR going to cable seems very people are going to be pissed.
Well, isn't NBCSN already a cable network?
Oh, I don't know.
It was. I thought it was a cable network.
Okay, maybe. I thought this was because they would air on NBC, would air that the NASCAR.
I think this was out of the high tier. When you get the 200 plus channels, you get the NBCSN as the sports network. It was just NBC Sports.
So they're moving it down to a channel where people might actually see it.
Correct, into a tier that people actually subscribe for. Some of those guys who have to have it all.
Is wrestling still on USA?
That's actually a story from. We'll just go ahead and do that one next. WWE is actually going to be moving off of their own platform. That they've had. They've had the WWE network that they've been using for a while, where you would spend $10 a month in order to have access to a ton of different of wrestling information, wrestling shows. And they are now getting a sweetheart deal with NBC to put that entire package into the $5 a month Peacock level app. So Peacock with premium, you can get that for $5 as part of the Peacock deal. So you are able to watch all that same stuff in the United States. By the way, outside the United States, that's still going to be a separate app for you people. But that's and apparently the amount of money that's being passed to WWE for this deal is in the billions. So
this is actually fitting. Do you know why? Because when the wrestlers are there in the ring and they do something, they're strutting around. You know what that's called?
It's called peacocking.
There you go. It's a match made in the ring.
Yeah.
The WWE Peacock.
If they can get Vince McMahon to walk out in the peacock suit, I'm so for it.
I don't know.
Yeah. So here now, I think I watched something I can't remember what it was now, but it wasn't live television. Does Peacock have live television?
Yeah.
I believe they do have some live NBC channels in your area.
Well, yeah, there's not that many different NBC channels, so yeah.
True.
So yeah, there is live content.
So for your $5 a month, you get some live TV there, right? Okay. Right.
Well, remember, Peacock has 3 tiers. There's a free tier, which is a bunch of the stuff that they don't mind giving away with commercials. There's a $5 premium tier, which is with commercials. And then I think it's $7 or $8 for the one that removes the commercials, which is obviously the right choice if you like the content from Peacock. So makes sense to me.
Okay.
So would Brian Brushwood call this wrestling on the cock?
I sure hope not. Well, he probably would.
He's the one he's been absolutely dead set on calling that service the cock.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah.
So now you can
Yep.
now you can start wrestling on the cock.
And if that becomes a title, I'm so sorry. All right.
I intentionally didn't put it in there.
All right. Netflix is
And don't
upgrading.
you dare web it.
Yeah, you know you've. Yeah,
I know web it. I know the people that hang out here.
Netflix is offering a new upgrade for Android viewers on the platform. You are able to update it to an amazing new sound codec, apparently called XHE-AAC, extended HEAAC, which provides you with a stout studio quality sound system for you. It's available for anything that's got running at least Android 9 Pie to use the new format, which gives you a much more high quality audio solution for your Netflix listening and watching experience.
I gotta say, for something that's audio related, it really rolls off the tongue.
Extended HE-AAC with MPEG-D DRC.
Looks like someone sneezed in text.
Are you okay? Are you having spasms while typing on the keyboard? I'm not certain.
Hey, better audio. I mean, that's better audio is one of the reasons I've been buying LG phones, is because they really focus on the audio codecs, or I mean the DAC. And
got some
you
sad
can
news for you,
customize
man.
it.
Sad news.
I know.
They're leaving. They're leaving the phone market, man.
Don't have to rub it in.
I'm sorry.
Which means I'm going back to flip phones pretty soon.
Or you could buy that Sony one for $2,500.
The one that was last year's phone, and then they added an HDMI port to last year's phone, and then listed it for $2,500.
That wasn't a story, but I saw that today. I was like, wow.
I'm still laughing about it. And there are going to be people that are going to buy it just because it's a $2,500 phone. It is marketed as a creator, like high-end content, whatever. All because it's got an HDMI port.
Now, Clyde, I'm sorry. I have to tell you this. If Apple did that, there would be a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
It's just...
See, but that's the difference.
I don't get it.
You don't have that... Sony doesn't really have that cult that they want or they deserve. They believe they deserve.
So my experience with the Sony phones is, from what I understand, is that they're pretty good phones, but they're overpriced in general. They're like, hey, this is like a nice phone if it was like not $800, $900.
I had a few Sony phones that were pre-iPhone that were smartphones. Like I had a Walkman that was literally a MP3 player with a phone built into it, had a touch screen, optional stylus. The thing was awesome. I liked it. I had a couple Sony Ericsson phones. I really liked them. The Android phones, I've always been interested in them, but each one had something that made me choose to go elsewhere. So.
All right. Hey, Spotify, they've been trying to get into all these different kinds of ways of getting you to listen to them. Here's a new one for you. Spotify is offering you some new audiobooks. Audiobooks, of course, you might be aware, is a really difficult market to get into. I only know of two well-known places to do it. Audible, actually three. Audible, which is the most popular of them all. I understand Apple does have their own audiobooks as well on the that they provide, and Google has audiobooks in their store. So, but Audible is by far the biggest of them. Spotify has decided to get into this by trying out something that wasn't going to cost them anything other than the talent it took to read the works, by giving it 9 different public domain works from stories like Frankenstein. And this is going to allow them to go ahead and try this out. I believe they're going to use this as a trial product for may perhaps future things at the Spotify.
Someone needs to let Big Voice Jay know. He's been doing a bunch of audiobooks on Audible, and
Yeah.
get him on the Spotify.
I heard of one today. I can't remember what it was called. There's maybe it was like Kobo or Chirp or something. So there's more out there than you would think. It just seems insane to even try to get into this market. Like I already have like 60 or 70, maybe more audiobooks from Audible. There's no situation where I would be interested in changing just because I would lose that library. Or, I mean, I wouldn't lose the library, but I would have
you would have to access it in a different silo.
And so, I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like you said, you know, Amazon's Audible is the 900-pound gorilla in this batch, and seems crazy to walk into that room at all. Just gonna get torn to pieces.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and the same reason for me. I mean, yeah, there's other players out there, but you know, I'm already embedded into the Audible platform, so just kind of hard to switch.
Well, that's one of those things where you may not be the target. There are a lot of people out there that aren't currently invested in Audible that may be interested in audiobooks. You know, those are the people they're going after, especially people like me and Matt that would prefer not to give money to Amazon. You know,
guess there are people that don't subscribe to Amazon.
There's one other thing that I kind of think about here, and that is the fact that I have only gotten in the last year plus, basically year, a couple of additional audiobooks, and only because they were released. I am like 9 to 10 months behind on listening to audiobooks because I'm not commuting anymore. I listen to audiobooks when I commute. It feels weird for me to sit down in a room and put on an audiobook
when you could be watching a video book instead.
Well, I mean, yeah, I watch videos instead.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's just really weird to me to think about that. And I see that as a problem because while there certainly will be a lot of people that start working back in their office again when this whole pandemic is over, we have no clue how long it's going to be. There's some pretty good indicators that it's going to be very long. And B, the cat's kind of out of the bag with working from home. And like my work has said that even when this is over, a lot of people will be allowed to work from home more or less all the time, or at least 2 out of 3 weeks or something like that. So it seems like the need for audiobooks is going to go down dramatically. I would rather read a book physically, whether it be on my phone or in a physical book, than to listen to an audiobook when I'm sitting in my house. It's a commuter thing. Everybody that I have ever known that did it a lot did it because they commute.
Well, I do it and I work from home, but I listen to books when I go for my walk daily.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's when I'm listening to, you know, doing my read or listening, whatever you want to call it.
Right. Mike's talking about us fat people out here that don't go for walks.
Well, I should caveat that. There is a large section of people that I know that also do it when they exercise, whether they go to a gym and walk on a treadmill or stair stepper or whatever, or go for a bike ride, go for walks, runs. Audiobooks are
because we're working from home and cooped up in home all day. I've got to go for a walk daily. If I don't, I'll go insane. So so the audiobooks and the walk really help being chained to the desk.
I get my walk. I get my 6 miles in going from this chair to the refrigerator and back and forth with occasional stops in the bathroom. Some days I actually remember to go that way to my bed.
you ever used Google's timeline to see where you've traveled, and you will notice that it just shows a little dot?
Yep.
It's like, that's not good.
Well,
You just zoom in really far to see you walking around.
That
your
was a
house.
trick question. He said, "Do you ever use it?"
Yeah, and you probably
You're
don't.
using it whether you know you're using it
That's
or
true.
not.
That's
It's
true.
on. Whether you choose to go in and actually look at it, you probably should. You probably should. 'Cause you might get scared when you see the level of detail.
If you ask me, it's not that good of detail. It misses whole sections of things for me, but that's me.
That's why go in and correct it.
No, don't bother doing that.
I correct it all the time.
Make sure the data that they've collected on you is accurate.
I correct mine all the time because it's constantly like, how was Pet Clips? I've never been to Pet Clips. Oh, you were at Pet Clips for 15 minutes today. No, I was sitting at a red light that wouldn't change green. That happened to be across the street from a Pet Clips.
Well, look at all the stuff I'm missing out on there being an iPhone user.
But I only get that because I actively contribute to Google Maps.
Yeah, me too.
Fixing reviews and
you're popular. Your picture's been seen 100,000 times.
Really?
Like,
Mine's like 350,000.
Yeah. Oh, they're doing good. I'm like at 130 or something like that for one of mine. So here's the thing for you guys: the Sundance Film Festival. You know, that festival that celebrates independent movies that are coming out. What do you think they're going to do this year? You know, cancel it? Yeah, not have it, you know, because it makes no sense. Because
considering the people that attend that are the biggest pansies in the world, yeah, I doubt it. I mean, they won't even allow flour because gluten at the festival anymore. You think they're going to show up?
I think this year they might put a whole bunch of flour in it. I don't know why, but it's all going to be virtual because it's all happening in this in a VR sound stage where you're going to be able to put on your Oculus Rift, walk around with these digital avatars that I gotta say sure do remind me of Poodle Puncher's a color scheme for some reason. Boy, these things are ugly. And let you go around.
You call my color scheme ugly?
I'm sorry, but the purple and pink is not my favorite color scheme. That's my opinion. But yeah, you're able to have a virtual as a conference. You're going to have a bunch of people getting together to go experience these films in a virtual environment, be able to talk to people. And this is going to crash so hard. This is going to.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's sign of the times because now even Sundance Movie Festival is doing day and date direct to you streaming, bike passing the theaters where they would normally show it. Not looking good for you movie theater people.
Yeah. So rather than actually closing it, they're just going to virtually close it.
Oh no, this looks like
or canceling it. I meant to say
this looks like what was it, Second Life from like 1999 or whatever.
And yeah,
but worse.
The pictures in the article look like that. Yeah,
they're pretty bad. I gotta say that like the VR rooms and environments that I've experienced in my Rift were better than that, but still fairly simplistic. And the resolution on the avatars is intentionally very low and very vague.
Because then they can put a lot of them in the room.
They can put a lot of them in the room, and there's not the whole attempt to be hypersexual or anything like that that might be distracting to some viewers in like.
Well, and that's the thing. There's they've gone out of their way to degender the characters,
right.
Hence the color scheme. So that's more of a pink and blue mixture of traditional boy and girl.
Right.
You know, and you notice everybody's got the same. That just sounds like a nightmare.
If you ask me, get them all in a World of Warcraft instance. Let them choose whatever kind of weird orc or troll they want to be, and walk around and do it that way. That's
well, the problem is you're going to get a whole bunch of trolls, and not in a way that you want.
I don't know. It'd be more fun if you ask me. All right.
Yeah.
Peacock is picking up some more sports related stuff. It looks like if you are interested in the in the Indianapolis 500, they're going to be putting some of the practice and qualifying sessions on that service. So if you're going to be subscribing to Peacock Premium, you can get those races there. It seems like this is Peacock is going to become a good portion of the sports for NBC. So
I will put a little bit of correction in there. Indy 500 is a specific race.
Right.
IndyCar is the league.
Right.
They'll be doing the races leading up to the Indianapolis 500.
Right.
But I will say the Indianapolis 500 is probably the worst race to watch. I want to actually see these cars on a road course, not in a circle. But that being said, yeah, they're only getting the practice laps and the qualifying. Do you care about one guy racing around the track all by himself?
Some people, yes.
That's like watching Tiger Woods go out and play on his private golf course. There's no competition. It's just some guy driving around in his golf cart.
I think this is not a great analogy because golf is always boring as opposed to IndyCar is usually boring all the time.
I chose that because to most people racing is boring, especially if you compare IndyCar to Formula One. It's like Mario Kart versus Forza. No, I mean, this is the same complaint I had about Formula One TV is a lot of the extras that they had offered or they were going to be showing on Amazon were the qualifying laps, practice laps. Woo. Do we want to start airing batting and pitching practice before the baseball games on one of these? Sure, a couple people are going to want to see that, but it's not going to be the big draw they're hoping for. People want to see the race.
Fair enough. Hey, Polk Audio, the guys who've been making speakers, right, and headphones. Polk Audio, you might remember them from the 90s. I feel like 90s stuff to me.
I might remember them from my living room.
Oh, really? Okay, good. They are announcing that they have the world's most advanced Alexa soundbar, Alexa enabled soundbar. It's a $249 soundbar called the React. It's one that has Dolby Digital and STS 5.1 virtual surround sound. It has a bunch of far field microphones in order to pick up your voices from far away inside your room. Has access to the various features like the whole house audio system available from Alexa, so you are able to sync it up with other different systems. It has an optional $199 subwoofer, a 7-inch woofer for you to put in your room to give you that deep bass sound. And it feels like this is exactly the same thing we've heard from every other soundbar company from this year's CES, which we had a lot of coverage of in previous episodes.
Yeah.
Is it the most advanced? I don't know.
Well, it's you got to put that in the way they phrase it. It's the most advanced Alexa powered soundbar. It's not the most advanced soundbar. It's the most advanced one that has Alexa.
It's the most powerful thing in the tri-state area, right? Yeah. Gotcha.
But I will say I apparently opened the wrong story up first, and I was like, that is a terrible looking soundbar. Why would Polk do that? I think that leads into our next story.
Yeah, the next story would be Amazon's Alexa Guard Plus subscription. And for those who are listening, that is a picture of the new Amazon Echo, which looks like a sphere. That is no soundbar, I'll tell you that much. Alexa Guard Plus is their subscription service, allows you to contact your Amazon Assistant in order to provide more premium support for things like break-ins and calling for help and things like that. It'll give you things like give you dog barking sounds. It'll give you if it detects things, it'll call your local authorities for you. That's right. This is a subscription service from Alexa or from Amazon that will provide you with the utmost of security and support in 2 days or less. I don't know about this. Would you spend $5 a month or $50 a year?
We got to ask our resident Amazon shill.
Yeah, as a sponsored resident Amazon shill that's not actually sponsored.
Don't we wish?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see it. I get where they're coming from, but there's not enough here to justify spending the money. Like if this was part of the service that you get with like your Blink cameras subscription and stuff, then it would start to make sense, or like bundled with, I don't know what Amazon, if Amazon has anything that's like a full home security system like Simply Safe or something, but
Yeah,
it's
called Ring,
like that.
Yeah, Ring is
yeah,
Amazon.
Ring is their
Yeah,
system.
the Ring security, right? So I knew there was something, I just couldn't remember what it was. So if it came along with like my Ring security subscription and video camera subscriptions, then it would make sense, or even a little bit more, like an extra $2 for an add-on. But $5 a month for this just seems a little silly.
It depends. I mean, if it reduces your homeowner's insurance down, right? You know, if you get this, if it'll qualify for that and give you, because most, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of homeowners in insurance will give you like a $200 a year discount if you have some sort of monitoring service in place. I don't know if this would qualify.
Yeah, that's
right?
the question.
But if it would, then that would make it worth it.
Is it a big deal that I trust Wise, a sketchy Chinese company, more than I do Amazon?
Well, Wise is built by sketchy Chinese people, but it's actually invented by and run by a guy here.
But it's the sketchy Chinese thing that would normally turn people off.
But the same sketchy Chinese people are building the Alexa stuff.
Although my biggest complaint about my Wise watch thingy is that it's Alexa enabled, and it's constantly bugging me. Hey, you could use voice. No, I can't, because I'm not. I don't have no interest in the Alexa. I don't know. This thing is hideous. And also, you can see right there by the rainbow puke RGB lighting on the bottom is a sign that is no longer cool in the PC world, because it's showing up in stuff that your mom and dad would buy.
Oh no! Are you saying RGB
there's
going
already
away
been
the
in the last year or so, there's been a huge blowback on, especially like on YouTube, against people that have that rainbow puke RGB blasting all over their PCs, and yeah. It's so 2 years ago, Amazon.
Sorry,
and that thing's gonna get covered with hair and just dust, and it's gonna look terrible. It's gonna look even worse. Give it about 6 months.
Yeah. You could see it covered in like somebody buying a thing that you put over it to make it look like a furry cat or something with a tail.
Oh, like the dead cat mic cover that I have on my mic downstairs.
Maybe.
It's not actually a dead cat. I mean, stop writing the letters. It's just called a dead cat. It's an industry term.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Hey, Lego's getting into the creation game. They've got their new Lego Video, VIDIYO. It's a music making program. Allows you to use their platform and a bunch of their custom tiles that you can purchase in order to make a music video based on the real world and putting an AR effect of whatever is available inside the video app and their tiles to make these cool little musical things and little videos in it for your kids to produce.
I think when you say it, you're supposed to implement your hands like video.
Video.
Yeah. Video. Something like that.
Gotcha. Video.
Okay, I think that's how it's supposed to be done.
Okay.
So is this basically like a video version of Mindstorm?
So actually, I feel like they've done this kind of let's make a stop motion or make a video a let's make a video out of our Legos thing a couple times. I'm pretty certain I've purchased it for my son once. That was barely ever used, but no, this is specifically to
Wait, you bought something for your kids that was barely ever used?
Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness, no. No, but this is specifically for making music videos. So this is them trying to tap into that TikTok crowd, I can think.
Well, I mean, I can see it. My young nephew, he's 10 or 11. All he wants is to make YouTube videos. So yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine my daughter, really even both of my daughters doing this. It comes with 60-second clips of a bunch of pop artists and stuff. So I can see it doing okay. I think, it doesn't indicate if there's any kind of monetization behind it, but something to... my kids like both Legos and music music videos. So,
I'd say in the 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 demographic, I could see this. That is, if you're comfortable letting your 8 to 12-year-old make videos using this app. My 14-year-old daughter, I could see her maybe using this ironically, but not like genuinely. Even if she genuinely loved it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, the question is, and as far as I could tell, it didn't indicate very much about like what kind of platforms this is for. I let my daughter make videos all the time. I don't let her post them anywhere. They just get deleted after a few weeks. But yeah, so it just depends on what kind of platform it hooks up to and stuff. As long as it just leaves it on the device, I'm fine with that. And then if you have to manually upload it to YouTube.
And that's where my concern comes in, because I have to believe that there is some sort of cloud component to this. Even if it's only storing it in your own personal cloud, you're potentially giving information back to the company, which is what they want. They don't care if you do anything with the video.
There's a supposedly monitored and enforced social network around this, actually. So,
which means people are actively looking at it. So it's not private. There are people that are, so you use it your own discretion.
You know what you also should use at your own discretion? Whatever the heck you want. You can do whatever you want. But if you're going to be watching Disney Plus and your kids have kids mode, there's going to be a couple of videos on there that they're no longer going to be able to watch without, your discretion. That's right. The Disney Plus app is now, if you have launched into the kids version of the app, is blocking access to specific movies that are now considered culturally sensitive. I don't know. So the movies in question are Peter Pan, Aristocrats, The Lady and the Tramp, Dumbo, and The Jungle Book.
Not the Aristocrats. That's the dirty joke one. The Aristocats.
Oh, pardon me. My apologies.
Although I find the idea of the Aristocrats being on Disney Plus hilarious and available to children.
And of course, if you ask me, I want to know why the cartoon version of Mulan is not on there, since literally thousands of people died but Mulan's hands. I don't understand. So
Well, it wasn't that they died; it was the cultural depiction. They're taking. I'm not even going to get into it. I am so done with Disney. There's.
Yeah, I understand this is an issue, but apparently you are able to go into the system and okay the movies if you feel like it's okay for the kids and they can watch it. This is just.
Can you individually okay movies?
It's a good question.
I thought that you could only, at least, I mean, I haven't spent a ton of time trying to figure it out because, there's nothing that my older daughter has access to other stuff because I wanted her to be able to watch Mandalorian and the Star Wars stuff. And so there's like two settings, kid and adult. And so my older daughter has adult and my younger daughter has kid. And really, I don't have like passwords set on them, so she can switch to my account for all the system blocks are from doing. But yeah, I think that it would just be, for me, I would just be like, yeah, if you want to watch these movies, do it on my account or on your sister's account. It's fine. Because yeah, I mean, I appreciate some of the sensitive nature of some of these. I can't for the life of me remember anything in Lady and the Tramp or
it would be the
Book
Siamese cats.
Yeah, I'm going through all these movies
the
why.
Siamese cats, that was in the 101 Dalmatians. They sang that song, "We Are Siamese." If you please.
Is in Lady and the Tramp.
That was in
Lady and the Tramp
Dalmatians soundtrack, because I never saw Lady and the Tramp, but I know that song. So it was on 101 Dalmatians.
I've never seen Aristocats, so I can't name that one. The Jungle Book, I know that there were the British vultures, but they were like the Beatles. It was hilarious.
No. But the thing is, nobody cares about racist overtones about white people. So that's not the issue. I'm going to say the issue is Mowgli.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. I know. I remember. The only thing I can remember in Peter Pan is that there was some
Native Americans smoking,
American stuff,
and
right?
there were some. Yeah, that was there was a little bit of that.
All I know
That's
is
the only thing I can remember.
Every single Disney movie has something in it that is a little cringy. I mean, even.
Well, you're talking about videos that were made in the 40s.
I know.
Yeah, and that's why I say I think this is absolutely stupid. It's asinine. If it's on Disney Plus, it's something that kids
what
can
you're
watch.
getting.
Yeah,
You know what you're getting.
Whatever.
I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to end us on a sour note.
No. It's not. It's not. I'm just. I've gotten to the point where I'm on my last straw with Disney. There's some other things that they announced recently that just made my eyes roll so hard that I had a migraine. I think they spun all the way around. 1984 warned us, Big Brother ramping up his game, but it's okay.
Oh well,
you got to rewrite history.
That leaves that is the stories for the week, guys.
All right. Well, this is the point where we normally thank the people that support this show, but I don't think we're going to do that this week.
But not this week. No. Wait, no, not this week. Yeah.
Fine. All of you that support us on Patreon, you're awesome. We can't do this without you. Thank you. From the pits of our arms and our knees and our hearts.
Patreon.com/the VOD Squad.
Thanks for switching Clyde to kid mode there, man.
Sorry. And
all right. Hey, rants, raves. I've had a few. All right. What do we got? Anybody?
I've been fairly busy this weekend. What did we do this weekend? Oh my goodness. I don't know. We did watch WandaVision, the 3rd episode.
Did you were
did
you
enjoy
as find it as mediocre as so many other people?
Yeah, well, that the thing about WandaVision episode 3 is like, yep, we get it. We know we're now, but we're at the point where it's probably going to start doing something interesting. Kind of, this was the lead up. This is kind of, and if you've been paying attention before with all the previews and all that, this is pretty much what we already knew. We're there. Okay, now what? That's where we are now. So hopefully this week we'll actually turn the page to something actually new. But actually, I was spending most of my weekend watching, when I had spare time, I would actually watch Awesome Games Done Quick. Every year they do that to raise charity. They did it again this year virtually. Everybody was doing it from home, which feels just not as good as when they have the large crowds of people cheering them on and yelling orb every time they see a round object, things like that. But because I'm sometimes lazy and looking for something to do, I downloaded a game for my phone that I'm kind of addicted to, and so I'm recommending nobody play it. Don't get this game. It's free, but don't play it. It's called Crush Them All. It's a game where you make you're basically battling through battlefields and trying to fight off all the monsters. But the point of the game is that you set it up so when you're offline, a lot of stuff happens when you're not watching. So, but it's oddly enough, it's gotten me hooked, and it's been taking up much of my downtime life recently. I do not recommend it because it might suck you in, like it's kind of sucked me in right now. So, Crush Them All.
Or is it Crush Them All or Crush the Mall, like the place you go to shop?
Not Crush Them All.
Oh, okay.
Crush Them All.
Okay, I wanted to make sure it's same.
I
Like
do
a
not
terrible
recommend
name.
it. Do not recommend it because if it does get you hooked, then you're going to feel sucked in. It's free to play. There's ways you can spend money to keep going, but no, that's not really.
Okay. Oh, that's fun. I found this new show. It's really good. I've heard a thing or two about it, I think, but I don't know if anybody's actually watched it. Cobra Kai.
Never heard of it.
Whatever.
Oh wait, never mind. I guess that it's old. It's on season 3. I finally started watching it. I heard good things. Several of you have mentioned it. And so I finally watched season 1, and we binged it in 2 nights, staying up late because it was really good. Absolutely loved season 1. We haven't started season 2 yet because we started it like Monday night.
I've only heard that season 1 and 2 were excellent, and season 3 is a bit of a letdown. That's all I've heard.
Yeah.
See,
it's really good.
Season 1 was great because it really focused on the relationship between Johnny and Karate Kid guy, Ralph Macchio.
Daniel,
Daniel.
Danielson.
And when that first came out, I commented it was nice to see that the writers understood that Daniel was actually in fact the villain in the original movie. Season 2 was okay. It was season 3 that a couple weeks ago I rage quit like halfway through, and I'm not going back. It's just and I don't know if it was Netflix or just the people writing got too far out of their depth and didn't know what to do, because all of a sudden none of the characters have any capability of rational thought, and there's just no logic to anything. It's ridiculous.
I understand why Clyde says that. I mean, I watched season 3. I enjoyed it. It wasn't as good as the first two, like what Matt was saying, but I mean, you got to think about it. It's an 80s movie. The Karate Kid was an 80s movie.
Yeah, but this is
and
current.
They're still kind of holding to that same kind of thing.
It was, and I will say it was the Halloween party at her house was the part where I turned off the TV, and as I was just like done. And you know what I'm talking about. It's just
I mean, true, but I mean, but these are, kid actors.
I know.
Well,
it's not, and it wasn't the acting. I mean, yes, the choreography this season is terrible, but it's not the actors. It was the writing. It was just the writing. The characters just, they have no depth anymore. Their motivations are just stupid. But yeah. So enjoy season 2. All I'm saying is enjoy season 2 and cross your fingers for season 3. Because
season 3, the parts I liked about it, which I think is the parts that Clyde didn't like, I kind of like the nostalgia of looking back at some of the
the whole clip show. Season 3 is like half of it is just a clip show from just trying to remind you that Karate Kid 3 was actually a movie.
People don't remember that.
I never saw it.
It was only 2 of them, right?
No,
there's 3.
With
the one where he went to Japan was
Daniel?
3.
I thought that was 2.
Or maybe that was 2. I don't know. All I know is I only saw the first one and I hated them. But that was the thing. I hated the movie. I always hated the movie. And then it wasn't until I got older that I found out it was because everybody was looking at Daniel like the hero, but he wasn't.
But in the Karate Kid movies, there was only 2 with Daniel in it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that one was 3, but maybe that was 2. So yeah. Either way. Yep. So enjoy 2. And then don't hold your breath for 3. You might like it, you might not.
Yeah, I will be honest and say 3 is not as good as the first 2, but I thought it's still worth watching, is what I would say.
All right, we'll see. I'll let you know.
Right.
Cool. Jimmy, you got something?
Yeah, so I guess I'm waiting for the Super Bowl to get here, right?
Are they actually doing that?
They are.
Are they going to allow people to go?
Yeah, they got an old guy by the name of Tom Brady that's actually going to be in it. So
wait, Tom Brady's going to be in the Super Bowl?
Yes, he is.
A Florida team actually made it to the Super Bowl? He's on Tampa, right?
He is.
Holy crap!
And it's at their stadium.
Oh, it's a home? Oh.
It's a home Super Bowl game.
I was going to say Jason.
I
was going to say Jason would be super ecstatic from the what was that show with the dead people? But then I remembered he was a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, not a Tampa Bay. So,
But anyway, so I'm waiting until end of the Super Bowl, but between now and then, I'm going to start looking around to see what services I can do and switch away from Hulu Live. I think I mentioned last week, I'm got my first bill after the price hike there, and it was after taxes now it's like $80 a month, right? So I'm going to look around, shop around, see what all services you can get, because the way I look at it, and this is what I'm thinking, I haven't put it all together yet, but if I do like say, $5 or so for like Peacock, CBS All Access is about $6 or so a month. And what is that new service? The Discovery Plus, that'll give me and my wife the HGTV, right? And that one's only like $6 or something like that a month, right? So I put together a few of those, and I still want to keep the regular Hulu, which is like $11 a month or something like that, right? So I think if I do all that versus paying $80 a month, I think I'll save some money and still be able to get all the content that I really care about. Right. Like I said, I hadn't put it all together yet, but I think that I'm going to at least give that a try. Right. If nothing else, I want to just send a message saying, "Hey, look, it's too high. You know, yeah. I'm not going to pay it."
See, I love Super Bowl Sunday because it's one Sunday I can go out and drive around and nobody bothers me. Because most people are someplace watching a game. But I've got two things. One, real quick, we talked last week about it's those headphones that I got. I got the new ones came in.
Oh yeah.
I like these a whole lot better.
Okay.
As far as audio, because their in-ear design, the touch is really good. Their features are good. Mike will have to tell you whether or not the audio sounded good, because as I promised, I called him once I got him.
Yeah, it sounded really good.
Yeah, I wasn't really in a noisy environment, so I don't know about noise canceling, but
right.
Not a huge fan of this case. This one has more of the Apple style. It's a little bit bigger than the other ones. The other ones I had were clamshell that the lid opened this way and they laid in there. I like that one a lot better. But it does have a nice, cool little button hidden in the front logo that you hold it down and then you force them into a sync mode, which is something that I've had issues with Bluetooth headphones in previously, was getting them back into sync mode after you've synced it with a device. It hasn't always been great, but this one's perfect. The other thing I was going to talk about was we talked about audiobooks earlier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I made a discovery recently. Those that know me, that have been in close proximity to me where they could hear music, know that I am a big fan of the band Ancient Bards. Mike's listened to Ancient Bards a lot with me. I always liked the fact that each one of their albums is essentially an opera. It tells a story. I didn't realize until a couple days ago that all of those albums, they're telling the same story. It's one story. They wrote an entire ginormous book, and they're telling the story one chapter at a time. Each album is a chapter they're calling season, and each song is like an episode within that season. And it's, now I'm like even more in. It's like, oh, now I need to know the whole story. It's called, I guess the overarching story is the Dark Crystal Sword Saga or something like that. But apparently, if you go to allthingsarah.com, which is the website for the lead singer, they've done, over the years, they've done posts that break down each album, like lay out the characters, who they are, and kind of so that stuff to make it easier to follow along with the story. And yeah, because they put out their fourth album last, I guess that was 2019. And it was an excellent album. Absolutely excellent. So I highly recommend, if you like audiobooks, but you would prefer to ingest them in musical form, check out Ancient Bards. But now you kind of have to start at the beginning. I've been just listening to them out of order all this time, and I never realized that they all directly fed into each other. So
Yeah, from an artistic point of view, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and one of the things that really impressed me is they're a band. They're out of Italy, but all their music's in English, and it's impeccable. Their musicianship is great. I absolutely love Sarah's voice. Sarah Squadrani. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Yeah, so check them out. Other than that, you should check us out. We are here live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central, here on Twitch. Also, if you don't want to watch us live, you could check out our podcast. We keep getting told that it's the superior way to ingest our content. That's available everywhere that podcasts are available. So just look for the VOD Squad. Other than that, if you want to reach out to us, you can get us on Twitter at the VOD Squad. You can email us at thevodsquad@gmail.com, or you can just become a patron and direct message us. And then you get on the Discord, and then you can direct picture us and direct other things. If you've ever wanted to spam us with emoji, while we're at work,
Yeah.
that become a patron, and you can do that. All right. Other than that, I'll shut this down. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Head on over to tbs.showbot.tv. There are titles that we will vote on in the after show. So can't forget about that. So, alrighty. I'm tired.
All
I'm
right.
done.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.